So, Julia, you're still studying the Pandora. Any luck?
Too soon to say. This sort of research takes years, and we might never know its secrets. Still, whatever we may learn from the box, it will never be used for evil. Promise.
Well, that's good to know.
Your reward money. I hope the number is satisfactory.
Forget it. The journey itself ended up being a sort of reward. It's more than enough for me.
You can be a real piece of work sometimes. But that was kind of noble. Charming, even.
You think I'm charming? Well, that's a start.
Having successfully obtained Pandora, Julia took it to several of her environmentalist friends for research. They discovered a power and technology within the box that had never been seen before on Earth. The potential to utilize such a great discovery to help restore and protect the environment made them all very excited. However, the researchers working on the project began to fight amongst themselves. The sudden outburst of violence from otherwise peaceful researchers gave Julia great concern about the true nature of Pandora's power. She thought that perhaps it was a tool meant to cause conflict between people. As Julia wondered what to do with Pandora, it mysteriously imploded. Though her friends were disappointed over the loss of such a unique discovery, Julia was secretly relieved. She felt that just like nature, the power of Pandora is something that is not meant for people to control.
What's this about?
You can't have the Pandora. Someone else wants it more.
I've been waiting for this moment. Finally, your intentions are revealed. She managed to escape. Regardless, this is all that truly matters.
Having seen through and properly planned for Nina's treachery, Kazuya obtained Pandora for himself. Now looking upon it, he plans to take it back to the G Corporation first for analysis, and then eventually take full control of it. For Kazuya, Pandora is a source of power which surpasses anything that ordinary human beings could ever create. His ultimate goal is to use Pandora to fully restore his body and the devil gene resting inside him. With all his goals clearly within his grasp, a satisfied Kazuya leaves the South Pole.
with my head. You think that's funny? Hey! Let's trash this thing!
Throwing away Pandora, King returned home. While continuing his career as a professional wrestler, he also searches for Armor King, but without any success. When King becomes frustrated with his lack of progress, he hears a voice calling out to him, taunting him. As this voice gets louder, King can only think of one possible explanation. It was not enough to simply throw away the box. To completely break Pandora's influence, he once again begins a journey, this time to destroy the box.
Well, now what?
I will also attempt. I really did it!
Mission accomplished.
After intense fighting against many fierce opponents, Lars was finally able to oversee the destruction of Pandora. This marked the successful completion of his mission. However, the mission taught him that he was still lacking in power. After a talk with Togo, one of his fellow soldiers, Lars was reminded that there are still many enemies out there who have yet to be defeated. While he had claimed a victory in this battle, the war had only just begun.
Yes, that's right so far. Both my partner and I are exposed to the light, but so far there's been no change. All levels are still reading as normal.
Retrieval of the Pandora has been canceled. We'll start to withdraw in 12 minutes.
That girl there? She literally came to the ends of the earth for you.
Just tell her to forget me.
I'm sorry. I did try to stop it.
It's fine. After all, it's just a matter of time.
The final opponent Lei faced off against proved to be formidable, but he ultimately prevailed and obtained Pandora. Sadly though, just a few days in his possession, Pandora self-destructed. After thinking about all the hard work that went into getting the box, it just made Lei even more tired. But with a new crime incident happening in Hong Kong, and a request from an old friend on the police force to take the case, Lei has no time to rest as he's back on the job. For Super Policeman Lei Oolong, rest will have to wait for another day.
Pandora's box is finally mine.
Oopsie, did I do that? So sorry.
You are an all too predictable simpleton. I have anticipated your betrayal from the very beginning.
Aren't you just a clever little boy? You're so right. Sharing the box with you never crossed my mind. And now, you're gonna hand over that box!
All those who dare to defy me meet their end.
You talk big, but can you back it up? Come on, baby! I'm just getting warmed up!
After many hard-fought battles, Bison has finally obtained the power of Pandora. Using it to augment his psycho power, he gained new and far greater powers and abilities. He then sets off to annihilate all those who would oppose Shadowloo, starting with the Mishima Zaibatsu. The roars of Bison's laughter can be heard as his enemies fall one by one. And now, Shadowloo is on the verge of complete global domination.
The lid!
Has the Pandora already opened? Oh no! Hurry up and take its power!
Roll. I'm not really sure, but there's nothing but a light coming from inside. I mean, there's nothing else in here.
I bet that means that the light is the source of its power. Maybe it's some kind of alien deflection light beam emitter. Mega Man, you have to absorb the power of that light. I'm sure it's going to make an amazing weapon.
The light? I don't understand!
Mega Man tried to assimilate the light coming from Pandora, but despite his best efforts, he ended up going home empty-handed. On the way home, Mega Man became worried about letting his friend Roll down. But upon returning, he found that Roll had already found a new potential weapon. With no time to take a breather, Mega Man is sent off once again to try and get a powerful new weapon. alien race that created Ogre had left him here on Earth. But after thousands of years, they sent a means for him to return home. The Pandora. The box had taken him apart and carried him home. When Ogre regained consciousness, he found before his eyes countless mechanical versions of himself. Instantly, Ogre understood. He had been left on Earth to gain strategic information through his various battles. Now, the data Ogre possessed would be passed along to this invading army to increase their power. The enlarged Pac-Man traveled down the winding streets of the city, gobbling up everything that stood in his way with an all-consuming hunger. Once there was nothing left to eat in the city, Pac-Man just disappeared, as if he was never there. The people who had been watching the pandemonium on live TV were relieved to see that he was gone. But their relief would only be temporary at best, for Pac-Man soon appeared in another city.
Something about this light. Just looking at it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, fuzzy. Maybe if we get closer, it'll feel better.
What the?
Hey, Paul? Buddy? I don't think we managed to catch the box.
I think the box got us! I don't want to die! Wait a sec! Please! Let me out!
Let us out!
After defeating all enemies who stood before him, Paul believed he'd finally gained possession of Pandora. Instead, Pandora took possession of him and carried him into outer space. Depressed with the vast nothingness of space, Days floated by until they were found by a group of aliens on a training mission. Remembering his goal to become the #1 fighter in the universe, Paul challenges the aliens to a fight and loses. The aliens kick Paul and Law back to Earth, and they just barely make it home alive. Now, whenever Paul looks up at the night sky, it just reconfirms his commitment to become the best fighter in the universe.
We came all this way, put in all that back-breaking effort. And now that we got the stupid box, there's nobody here to see it!
Maybe it's a full cameraman, but then maybe they got evacuated before we got here.
Damn it! We fought so hard to get here. Still, this doesn't have to be a waste, baby. If we manage this, how much harder could it be to become world famous?
Yeah! Poison, what do we do about the box?
Piece of junk. Who cares?
Poison finally obtained Pandora, but unfortunately there were no press there to witness her amazing accomplishment. Failing in their mission of becoming famous by obtaining Pandora, Poison goes back to her original plan of having her and Hugo gain fame through sheer brute force. Since they are best skilled in the art of professional wrestling, together they form their own wrestling association known as the HWA. Hugo and Poison push their way into other wrestling competitions and force whoever they beat to join their association. Whether or not they succeed in becoming the strongest wrestling association in the world all depends on Poison.
We gotta see what's
Fall
inside!
back, Sergeant! This might be an enemy trap. We're gonna crawl forward and assess the situation. Now hit the dirt!
What? Ugh. Ninjas don't crawl, we jump through trees and stuff.
It's empty. How's that possible? I would have noticed if something had breached our perimeter. What the hell could have happened?
I suppose we'll never know. If we just walk like normal
Zip
people...
it, Sergeant! If we want our mission to be a success, we can't let a single adversary slip through our fingers. Now prepare to pursue the enemy. Sergeant!
The name is Ibuki! Ah! That's it! I don't want to play army anymore!
Though he finally obtained Pandora, Rolento found that it was empty. Someone had intercepted his plans and beaten him to the punch. Rolento quickly changed the objective of the mission to pursuit in order to capture the contents of Pandora. Recognizing that the efforts of the young ninja would be vital to the success of his mission, Rolento promotes her to the rank of sergeant for outstanding service in the line of duty. Although she is still reluctant to work with him, he hopes to use a strict military regimen to inspire her to become a great soldier, and perhaps even have her join his army on a permanent basis. However, the road to Rolento's goal of a new military-ruled country is still a long way off into the future.
Ryu! God! What the? Ryu!
One day, the mysterious box that had come from outer space suddenly disappeared. Along with it, a certain well-renowned fighter also dropped off the face of the earth. It was said that the power of Pandora was an evil magic that could corrupt even those with the most benevolent intentions of trying to save the world. Did the man who was once tempted by the Satsui no Hado fall victim to its power? Or did he sacrifice himself to rid the world of Pandora? The answer disappeared along with the box. With the exception of the fighter's disappearance, everything returned to normal. The current whereabouts of the World Warrior is still a mystery, at least for now.
Exhausted. We fought some really tough opponents this time. That was so much fun. I've got to say, I think we've gotten stronger since last time. Right, Jimmy-san?
I do feel stronger. But whatever happened to Dan?
Oh, I forgot. You know, it's a bit weird we haven't run into him yet. Man, where the heck did he go? Hibiki-san! Ollie Ollie oxen free!
It's cold.
Oh my gosh! Hibiki-san!
Are you okay?
Huh? What's going on? Oh, hi guys. Why are you here?
Thanks to her journey and her efforts, Sakura was able to be reunited with Dan at the South Pole. Not long after, Dan regained consciousness and Pandora quietly disappeared. Sakura and Blanka wondered if the true power of Pandora was to grant the wishes of those who found it. As the box vanished after finding Dan, apparently only one wish could be granted. While Sakura was thankful to have Dan back, she couldn't help but wonder if the one wish had been wasted.
It was tough, but it looks like we accomplished our mission.
What
the hell? Do you think this is all some kind of joke? Damn it! Where'd the lid go?
Let me out of here!
By unleashing the full power of his cursed sword, Yoshitmitsu was able to obtain Pandora. With the power of Pandora now in his possession, and with his sword finally having been calmed, Yoshitmitsu believed he would finally be able to bring the Manji Ninja clan back to fruition. But before he could set his plans into motion, Pandora suddenly vanished. Now, believing the box to be under a magic spell that merely concealed it, Yoshitmitsu begins yet another journey to locate Pandora.
Victory! Yeah, there ain't a fighter on Earth who can compete with the perfection that is me. I calculate my muscle or fat percentage against the force of my opponents.
What is this light?
Huh? What's going on? Is the lid opening? I'll bet it's reacting to our overwhelming strength. Oh, hey! This is gonna help us hit the big time. So, what do you think is inside this thing? You don't think it could be one of those wish-granting magic genies or something? I can't wait to tell Candy.
Hey, what's with the light?
The light is everywhere! What is happening? My arms body!
Zangief found the coveted Pandora, but after being bathed in its light, the box vanished. Unable to bring Pandora back to his motherland, and having his prized iron body changed into a sleek metro look by Pandora's power, Zangief fell into depression. Then, Zangief received a call from Rufus, his partner who also suffered the same fate. In order to become the strongest fighter in the world, Rufus invited him to train together. Inspired by his friend's positive attitude, Zangief looks toward the future with renewed vigor. Despite the vigilant guard, someone had made off with the contents of Pandora's box, cementing its place in time as an unsolved mystery. When Pandora was finally located, it had already been opened and its contents stolen. Around the time when the box was believed to have been opened, several eyewitnesses reported seeing a pillar of light, followed by showers of bright flower-like objects. However, Whatever the contents of the box may have been, they were nowhere to be found. A few days later, the box itself vanished, leaving no signs that it had ever existed. After all of the commotion it had caused, Pandora became no more than a fleeting memory. There is no one who knows the truth about Pandora, except for those who have opened the box.
Thank you for playing. Presented by Capcom.